Hello, I'm Super Orange Cat here. I'm today with the Toonami news update for February 1st, 2001. Let's start with the most breaking news, that being earlier today, we got a new schedule coming out. Now, note, this is a schedule coming out for February 13th, and if you're paying close attention, you'll notice that Black Clover is back on the block. Now, what I'm going to do now is to read out from Toonami's Facebook page the official announcement alongside this announcement. Black Clover is bringing back the magic. Toonami is proud to announce the return of Season 3, premiering February 13th at 2 in the morning. Summon your calendars and check out the full lineup below. And this schedule is Dragon Ball Super at midnight, Attack on Titan at 12:30, The Assassination Classroom up at 1 in the morning, Fire Force at 1:30, Black Clover Season 3 at 2 in the morning, SSSS Gridman at 2:30 in the morning, Naruto Shippuden at 3 o'clock, and the Demon Slayer at 3:30. Now, again, there was some speculation that Black Clover was coming back. I think a lot of people, myself included, thought it would take a bit more time than it did. So, and if, as a fact, this is the replacement for War of the Underworld, which is ending next week, which is why this schedule's for the 13th. So this will not be the schedule for next week. As a note, next week's schedule, this upcoming Saturday, will be the same as it was last week. So again, pretty interesting update here. And again, with the schedule, you'll also note here that the Assassination Classroom got moved up to 1 in the morning. This is something I've been saying the block should do for a while. I even commented on this earlier saying, like, finally, they're listening to me. And yeah, that's what it is right here. Because I've kind of come to accept that Dragon Ball Super and Attack on Titan are wedged in place at the start of the block. I don't think anything can budge these shows out, even low ratings. I don't think that Toonami will ever do that until Attack on Titan ends or Dragon Ball Super ends its rerun run here. Both of those are going to take a bit of a while. I think Attack on Titan still has like 8 episodes left to air for this season on the block. But again, Assassination Classroom, long runner. We have like 20 something episodes left. It gets pushed up to an early slot. So that's something to note. Black Clover, I had to do the math. I looked back, and as of right now, we have about 8 episodes as a buffer from where we left off and where Funimation has gotten through dubbing. So that's something interesting to note because when it left the block, I think like 4 or 5 months ago, we only had a 2 episode buffer. So in like almost half a year, only about 6 episodes have been made. A lot of people have been a bit disappointed in the pace of dubbing of that show. Now, it's interesting to note that Toonami has picked it up to re-air, and there's some concerns that they're not going to they're going to have to fill in another replacement after 8 or 9 weeks because of how slow it's being dubbed out. But that remains to be seen. That'll be interesting to see how things play out there. And it's getting pushed to 2 in the morning. There was concerns throughout its run on the block that it was too late for its own good. It's a show that typically actually pulls in decent ratings for the block. But like I said, long-running show with no end in sight. It's going to get what I call the Hunter x Hunter treatment, where you slowly but surely see it go down further and further to the block. You know, and I do not be surprised if at some point Black Clover slips to 2:30. Don't be surprised if that happens, even in the next few weeks or so. No, because I believe we have some more shows coming out. Like in like the next 6 to 8 weeks, I think we have like 3 more shows leaving the block. So that's gonna be the next time of big upheaval for the schedule. That's something to take note of. And again, another note from the schedule is fans of SSSS Gridman gonna be disappointed. The show is still at 2:30. It's at that position though where it's too late in its run. I know it's only been like 3 episodes, but it's too late in its run now to probably move, especially considering how short the show is. It's coming up and it's only got like 8, 9 episodes left. And yeah, it's expected to stay there the rest of its run. It's not going to budge out at 2:30. But again, I'm personally, a lot of people were disappointed with the scheduling. I actually liked it. I am actually believed it was a good decision to move Assassination Classroom early in the schedule. It's something I've been saying for a while. I think it has arguably outside of like the massive names like Dragon Ball or Attack on Titan, I think it had or Naruto, but Naruto is a special case. It has probably the most widespread appeal, which is why I'm happy it got moved up earlier. But again, that's something interesting to note. And now, what I'm going to do here is there's one more news thing to cover, but do you know what? I'm actually so happy about I'm so happy I can open up my Black Clover folder again and start putting waifu pics back out there. So I'm going to do that for the rest of this video. So the other piece of news that came out, I believe 2 days ago, that we will have another total immersion event for Toonami. Very quickly, actually, my ad. Very little, like for the last total immersion event, we had like months of like hype going into it. This one, it's like a week because I believe starting this Saturday, the 6th, we're going to have the first of the 4-part total immersion event called Cosmos Samurai. Now, basically, this was not produced in house, and apparently it's non canonical, so it's not going to play in with the actual plot line with Tom and Sarah. It won't be on that line. It's just going to be kind of a what if scenario, I suppose. 4 weeks long, and it will start apparently right at midnight this next Saturday. And I, a lot of people are actually liking it. I'm not so much because, like I said, Toonami is strapped for cash. What cash they have, they've thrown into Uzumaki. They've thrown into Fina. They're throwing into Blade Runner. So to see them spend money on 4-week total immersion event like this, that's not even canonical. So it's not like we're getting a stylistic change out of this or anything like that. I don't see the point. And it's like at the same time, I mean, it's a lot like the whole Rick and Morty sketch they had aired at like Adult Swim Expo or whenever, way back like a few months ago, where you got the director of Tower of God, which at the time this aired on Toonami was arguably the biggest anime of that. It was arguably the biggest new anime of 2020. At that time, was at its peak, and a lot of people thought, well, Toonami probably doesn't have much money, but what if they're somehow able to get Tower of God on the block? Wouldn't that be cool? So for a lot of people, it just felt really insulting when they got the director of Tower of God to do something for Adult Swim for Toonami, but they didn't get the show itself, you know. And a lot of people were pretty disappointed, and I see a lot of connections with this where this is subbed. This, by the way, this is subbed. This is not going to be in English. This is going to be subbed in Japanese. And again, and this opens another box about what you could have done last year. Because, again, arguably one of the bigger struggles of last year was how slow dubbing had to be since everyone had to do it at home. So naturally, it took weeks to cobble together episodes that normally could have been done in a few days. So with that being said, that we have a precedent now, we're going to have a precedent where outside of that one Adult Swim prank, we can air subs on the block. So if this is something that's allowed, then why couldn't we pick up anything subbed last year when the dubbing studios were closed, but Japan was still chugging along with making new episodes of stuff? And that's one thing. Japan shut down for a couple months, but Japan more or less is at full speed now, at least in the anime industry. So, I mean, so anime is doing like coming out of Japan fine right now. We're having more or less a normal schedule, a normal season come out now for winter 2021 in the general anime industry. But here on Toonami, with the whole obligation that everything has to be dubbed, that's a roadblock right there. And apparently now you're saying we never had to have that roadblock. So at the end of the day, why would this 4-week total immersion event that you're throwing money at, why couldn't that be subbed? But why could we not get, say, the sub of something like Tower of God last year? Or something like God of High School? Two anime that were pretty popular last year that I think could fit into Tanami's uh, vibe, but we didn't get. And again, it's just one of those things, in my opinion, that just ends up opening more questions than solving. And it remains to be seen, are people going to care that much? Because part of the whole total immersion events, part of the hype behind these things is the fact that there's some degree of stakes. Is Tom going to make it? Is Sarah going to make it? Are we going to get a new Tom? Or are we going to get a new stylistic change? Is it going to be better? Is it going to be worse than the next one? Can't wait to see what Tanami's going to look like. It's not going to matter because in 4 weeks, everything's going to be the same. The graphics are going to be the same. The same Tom who's in his chair is still going to be in his chair 4 weeks later because this is not the. I believe this is supposed to be modeled after Tom 3.5. This is not the Tom that a lot of people have been getting used to over the past a year at this point. I don't know. Time has gone at weird. Time has been so dilated to me. I honestly can't tell a week from a year at this point. Whenever the last total immersion event was, I want to say it was November of 2019. I could be horribly wrong on that. No, because I distinctly remember this like 90s neon aesthetic being around for a while. But I don't know. I'm starting to ramble here, so maybe I should end the video. What do you guys think? What's your opinion on the new Toonami schedule coming out in a couple weeks? What's your thought on Cosmo Samurai? Leave your comments, leave your opinions down below. I love reading them. If you like this content, if you want more Toonami news, content like this, please like, please comment, and subscribe. I'm the Super Orange Cat, and that is all.